Hi and very warm welcome at Amish Shackle 5858. I am Amish Shackle. Following news headlines have been reported by world major English news channels and news agencies. So please watch it.
Tonight, 85 million Americans bracing for the first in a series of dangerous storms. A serious snowmaker hitting the Northeast right now. The storm already pounding the Midwest with driving snow. Cars skidding off highways. Major cities now preparing for the worst of it.
All hands on deck to make sure we get those roads cleared this weekend.
We are timing out this storm and the one coming right behind it. The unprecedented security challenge in New Orleans, with the Super Bowl just hours away. We take you inside the plan to keep 100,000 fans and the president safe, just weeks after that terror attack there. The investigation into the plane crash in Alaska, what we now know about the 10 people killed, and the NTSB press conference late today. President Trump pulling security clearance for former President Biden, and the latest judge to block Elon Musk's plan for a government agency. NBC News investigates the dangerous staffing shortages at juvenile detention centers, how it leads to frightening scenes like this. Plus, the robbery caught on camera. What did the crooks steal? Hundreds of eggs. The nationwide crisis as egg prices skyrocket. Trader Joe's now rationing them.
I actually went to Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Publix. There's no eggs anywhere.
This is NBC Nightly News with Jose Diaz-Balart.
Tonight, bracing for a new blast of winter weather. Road crews rush to get ready. Ice, snow, and severe weather forecasts from the Midwest to the Northeast. Nearly 100 million Americans on alert this weekend. Also tonight, Elon Musk's war on Washington.
Elon is doing a great job.
But the Trump agenda today hitting a new legal bomb.
I'm Willie James Inman, traveling with the president in West Palm Beach, Florida, as a federal judge blocks Elon Musk from accessing some of Americans' most sensitive data.
New outrage at Hamas, even as Israel cheers the latest hostage release.
I'm Chris Livesay in Tel Aviv, where amid a fragile ceasefire, Israelis are overjoyed to see more hostages come home.
Expensive eggs, more than 100,000 stolen in 2 heists, the latest in Seattle. Supplies nationwide running short.
I'm Allie Bauman, talking with shoppers who are scrambling to find the breakfast staple.
At the Super Bowl, a historic three-peat on the line.
I'm Omar Villafranca in New Orleans. If the Chiefs are victorious in their 3rd Super Bowl in a row, one of the biggest winners won't be on the field.
And later, we head to the polar bear capital of the world. It's a community that lives with a predator next door, but where winter isn't what it used to be.
It is a scary thought to think that the polar bears may not be here one day.
This is the CBS Weekend News from New York with Jerika Duncan.
Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. The powerful winter storm bringing heavy snow and ice from the upper Midwest to the Northeast. The escalating legal fight over Elon Musk's plans to cut federal agencies. And the big game in the Big Easy. Security on high alert ahead of the Super Bowl. First, those dangerous winter storms moving in right now. 90 million Americans from Wisconsin to Maine under winter weather alerts this weekend. Heavy snow, sleet, and ice in the forecast. Much of the region still digging out from earlier storms. Road crews loading up with salt, with sleet and freezing rain expected in Baltimore, and up to 8 inches of snow in Boston. Our weather team is timing it out. The legal battle heating up over the reshaping of the federal government. A judge temporarily blocking DOJ's access to Treasury Department payment systems. 19 states now suing to keep Elon Musk's team out of personal data, including Social Security and bank numbers for millions of Americans. Plus, the National Institutes of Health slashing billions in funding, leaving medical researchers scrambling to save critical studies. Also tonight, Super Bowl security. It's even tighter than usual, with President Trump now planning to attend the big game in New Orleans. Thousands of officers on duty, barricades throughout Bourbon Street, helicopters and drones overhead. All of this just weeks after the deadly New Year's truck attack. 3 more Israeli hostages released in exchange for more than 180 Palestinian prisoners. The Israelis appearing thin and frail after 16 months in captivity, raising new concerns about whether the Gaza ceasefire will hold. The race to recover plane crash victims in Alaska. The plane suddenly disappearing from radar and crashing onto sea ice. What we're now learning about the investigation. The altercation on a highway overpass. A group dressed in black hanging Nazi flags confronted by neighborhood residents. New fears that the bird flu outbreak may be expanding. More than a dozen birds found dead at 2 New York City zoos. And behind the scenes at the Super Bowl, from the fans to the commercials, and what Kendrick Lamar's revealing about his halftime show.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this.
We're honored to be joined today by many incredible advocates for women's sports, including the brave swimmer at the forefront of this battle. And Riley Gaines is a person that I've been watching. Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
God bless you, Mr. President.
President Trump's this week signing an executive order calling for a ban on biological men and boys from competing in female school sports by denying federal funding to schools that allow it. You heard him there. Thank our next guest for her outspoken activism on this issue. We are pleased to be joined by Riley Gaines, host of the Gaines for Girls podcast on Outkick.com and a former NCAA swimmer who, by the way, won the SEC championship twice, butterfly and freestyle, and a silver medalist at the NCAA. So, I want to just take you back for just a second, Riley. The long road that you and I have been witnessing this, from you standing there on the podium, watching Thomas get a medal that you deserved, frankly, go from there to your activism. And it was costly along the way in some circles, and yet you hung in there, you toughed it out to watch the president in an iconic photo signing this week. It's been quite a journey, I met.
That's to say the least. These past 3-ish years at this point have really been a whirlwind. But I would do it every single day of the week. That visual you just mentioned of President Trump surrounded by all these young girls wearing their uniforms, looking so joyous and so excited, knowing there is a future for them in sports and beyond because of President Trump's leadership. I can't even tell you just how much that visual means to me. Of course, as an athlete, myself, a former athlete at this point, but someone with a younger sister, someone who can only hope to have a daughter of my own one day. That is exactly why we fight.
Let me walk you through that photo. And for the folks at home, I don't know.
On this Saturday night, security, trade, and Trump. The Prime Minister touches down in Europe, seeking to shore up Western alliances.
Canadians have seen that the rules of the game have changed, and therefore you need to adapt.
Plus, the push to protect Canada's critical minerals. Let the games begin. Vancouver hosts a star-studded start to the Invictus Games, with athletes from 24 countries, including Ukraine. Order of Canada cancelled. Singer-songwriter Buffy Sainte-Marie is stripped of the honor.
The public is finally accepting the seriousness of the allegations against her.
Plus, a change of heart.
As soon as she had the heart transplant, it's like she just snapped out of it.
Canadians with congenital heart disease are living longer, but need better access to care.
To provide optimal care, you have to have those multidisciplinary teams looking after those patients.
Global National. Reporting tonight, Jeff Semple.
Tuesdays on ABC and ABC iView.
Today, severe weather warnings and flood alerts as monsoon rain maintains its grip on North Queensland.
Lives have been lost. Livelihoods have been destroyed. People have seen water in places they never thought possible.
One woman killed and another seriously injured after a lightning strike south of Sydney. The Victorian Liberals are on track to claim Paran, while the early count in Werribee is spelling trouble for Labor. The federal government promises $500 million for women's health, including a boost to contraceptives. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm David Chow. Flash.
Hello, a very good morning. It's 6 o'clock. Coming up on the show today, heartbreaking tributes to their loved ones. The parents of two of the Southport victims described the moment they heard their little girls had been attacked.
And in sport, England score a last-minute try to beat France at Twickenham and reignite their hopes of winning the Six Nations.
It's Sunday, the 9th of February. Beautiful and happy, the parents of two of the Southport attack victims paid tributes to their daughters and speak out about their ordeal. Home at last, 5 Thai hostages reunite with their families in Bangkok after being held captive in Gaza for over a year. Also ahead, Health Minister Andrew Gwynn is sacked over offensive WhatsApp messages, including some said to be anti-Semitic. Parents at breaking point, spending thousands to find a school that meets their children's special educational needs.
We had to focus on what is it that we do to make sure that he has a future.
Harry and Meghan cheer on Team UK as they attend the opening ceremony of the Invictus Games in Canada.
And in the FA Cup, Chelsea's post-Christmas slump goes on as they crash out at Brighton. But Manchester City squeeze through at Lake Laureate.
Hello, very good morning. Thanks for joining us here on The Breakfast Show. Our top story here today.
Hello and a very warm welcome if you're just joining us here at the France 24 newsroom. These are our top stories this hour. 250,000 people march on Munich, calling on their country to steer away from the far right as Germany gears up for parliamentary polls. Meanwhile, a gathering of far-right European leaders is held in Spain with a call to make Europe great again. They say with Trump in the White House there is a unique opportunity for change. And the 5th round of hostage and prisoner exchanges under the Gaza ceasefire deal has taken place. 3 Israelis returned home and scores of Palestinians released from prison. Concern on both sides over the condition of those freed.
This is Asia Now.
Hello, it's 2 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 11:30 in New Delhi and 1 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Angela Lim. At this hour, joy and tears as 5 Thai nationals who were held hostage for more than a year in Gaza reunite with their families in Bangkok. Chinese rescuers are racing to locate survivors after a landslide caused by heavy rain left at least 29 people missing in Sichuan province. Relief efforts are also underway. And Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party will form the government in New Delhi for the first time in nearly 3 decades after securing a landslide victory over the Aam Aadmi Party.
US President Donald Trump followed through on his promise to punish South Africa by signing an executive order stopping all aid to the country over what he called a human rights violation against a white minority group. Many in Johannesburg said on Saturday they disagreed with Trump's move.
There's no such thing that I've read or experienced or seen on our social media in South Africa that really has a connotation around white people being mistreated in this country. He should have actually come from the Americas to South Africa to come and see what was happening for himself, and not just take the word of an Elon Musk who hasn't lived in this country for the longest of time, who doesn't even relate to South Africans.
The Trump administration said the South African government was allowing violent attacks against Afrikaner farming communities.
We have to carry our own weight. Okay, and I believe we are. For a developing country, I believe we are carrying our support. We do need...
In Goma, grief is mingled with anger as the community mourns the tragic death of Kiba Mongo, a former boxing champion and one of the 3,000 victims claimed by the M23 rebels. The memory of his untimely passing remains fresh, leaving behind a heartbroken community. There were several gunshots and he was hit by a stray bullet that killed him. At the same time, I got a call saying my brother was dead. Despite the gunfire, I had to leave my house to understand the reason for his death, but we never learned, given the gravity of the situation. Don, the champion, is gone. Now we don't know how we'll find another champion like him. It will take us a long time to rebuild the club and find someone to follow in his footsteps. Kiba Mongo was a beacon of hope for many children in Goma, having what a future. We ask the leaders to end this war. We are suffering too much. Many are left orphaned and many others are widowed. It's very serious and it hurts us deeply. In 2008, Kiba
Thank you very much for giving time to Amir Shekel 5858. I am Amir Shekel. Have a good life. Bye-bye.